Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this guy I used to know named Irizarry, James Irizarry, and this shit that happened this one night. Alright, so I knew Irizarry in my battery in the army at Fort Drum. He was this Spanish guy, I think he was Puerto Rican, from Lawrence, Massachusetts, which is basically the biggest shithole and ghetto in that state. It's a pretty tough, hard place to grow up by Massachusetts standards. And as a product of his environment, Irizarry was pretty hard himself. Pretty tough guy. Yeah, so he got to the battery, I think in early 2009, before we went to Iraq. And from the start, everybody hated him because he was a total asshole, seemingly for no reason at all. Almost like he was just trying to purposely see how far he could push us before we'd want to punch him in the face, which took about a day for us to get to that point. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, what is his problem? Why is he acting like this? Does he want us to hate him or what? But he just keeps going, like the first week or whatever, week and a half. But as the army goes, it's like, okay, we're all brothers in the end. We still wear the same uniform. Maybe we should just give this guy a chance. Maybe if we invite him out with us, he'll chill the fuck out, stop being a dick. So we invite him to this party at this guy Bert's house, Brandon Faber. If you've heard any of my other stories, his house was the main party house. It didn't work. Because it's continued at Bert's house. He keeps being a fucking dipshit. Again, for no reason at all. At one point, he's sitting on Bert's couch in his living room smoking a cigarette, sitting next to this guy Carpenter. Carpenter was the opposite. He was one of the nicest, most laid-back guys you're ever going to meet. Guy never has a problem with anybody in his life. Everyone likes him. We all like Carpenter. Good soldier, too. Pretty high speed. Ended up making sergeant. And he's like blowing the smoke in Carpenter's face. And Carpenter's like, dude, I don't care if you smoke. It's whatever. Can you stop blowing it in my face? Blow it the other way. And Irizarry was basically like, fuck you. And I go to the bathroom to take a piss. And I'm barely finished pissing when I hear a bunch of yelling and screaming coming from the living room. And I'm like, oh shit, is that a fight? And I come out of the bathroom, run down the hallway, and I see a bunch of arms and legs just flying everywhere. And at first I thought it was a brawl, right? Everybody was fighting each other. And then I realized all the arms and legs were going in one direction. And then I look and I see Irizarry on the floor with like maybe 15 guys just punching and kicking him in the face, like trying to beat the living shit out of him. I'm like, oh, damn, they're fucking this guy up. And I hated Irizarry too, like everyone else at this point. And I'm so happy. I'm like, yo, they're going to fuck his shit up. Wow. And much to our chagrin, like when I said this guy was tough, yeah, we had no idea. After getting basically what was equal to like a gang beating, when you join a street gang and they just beat the living shit out of you for like 45 seconds straight. Like 15, 20 guys just beating your ass. And you're not allowed to fight back. This motherfucker gets up, doesn't have a scratch on his face. Not a scratch, not a mark, nothing. Gets up, kind of brushes his shoulders off like, yo, nigga. Yo, that ain't nothing, yo. You guys ain't shit. And he just like walks away. And after that, we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, he kind of earned our respect for taking that kind of beating. Like it wasn't shit again. And after that, I guess it was both ways. It was a two-way street. He also respected us now for having the balls to fuck his shit up, or at least try. And he started being cool after that. And he ended up becoming one of the coolest guys in the battery. Everyone got along with him. He never had another issue with anyone. And I liked him a lot. Still talk to him sometimes online. And yeah, but that particular night, I drank more than I ever drank in my entire life in one night. I believe I had something like half a handle of Captain Morgan's by myself, right? Like, even though I drank a lot more in the army than I did in the whole rest of my life combined, I was still kind of a lightweight compared to other guys. I also only weighed maybe 130, 135 pounds at the time. And I was so drunk, I basically blacked out. Yeah, and I never get blackouts, no matter how much I drink. But yeah, even for me, I can barely remember anything. People had to fill me in on details. So, from what I was told, Andrews, one of my boys in the battery, Andrews was sober. So, acting as a DD, he gets in my car and starts driving. And we go from Bert's house out to a couple of clubs in Watertown. Now, I couldn't dance or pick up girls in clubs when I was sober. When I was drunk, forget it. For what Andrews told me, I kept trying to dance with all these girls, and I would basically stumble and like pass out right into them. And they'd be like, ew, get away from me. And they'd like push me away towards like another group of girls. And I'd try to hit on them and slobber on them too. And, again, like, ew, no, go away, please. And Andrews was just laughing about it. Hey, man, this guy from Trinidad, hey, getting freaky at the club, man. leave you getting freaky at the club, all the girls, man. And like, what the fuck? So then, I do remember getting in my car again. Andrew's driving us back to Fort Drum. Now, I did mention Carpenter, right? This was a pretty clean-cut, straight guy. Never got in any trouble in his life, as far as I know. Never got in trouble in the Army, for sure. Made sergeant real quick, whatever. But his one flaw, Achilles' heel, was that he liked to drive drunk. And we didn't understand why he would put himself and like his Army career at risk like this. But he would do this all the time. He wouldn't get like shit-faced and drive, but he'd be like close to the legal limit, real close to a DUI. And we get back to the barracks, and we see a red Mustang pulled over on the side of the street right outside the barracks parking lot. We're like, whose car is that? That looks familiar. Holy shit, that's Carpenter's car. And we knew he had a few drinks and drove off. And we're like, oh fuck. Oh no, like you do not want to see one of your buddies get a DUI, especially a good guy like Carpenter, who's about to get promoted. He's going to ruin everything for himself. And we're just like, no. And he got pulled over again right outside the parking lot. He got all the way there and got stopped. What the fuck? Terrible luck, too. And we're standing there in the parking lot watching him take a field sobriety test. And we're like, come on, please don't get a DUI. Please get off this time and then learn your lesson and not do it again. And then finally, instead of handcuffs coming out, we see the MP walk back to his car, Carpenter walk over to us, and we're like, oh, thank God. And then he goes, walks up to us and goes, .04. Because, you can get a DWAI. It's like a lesser DUI charge at .05. Don't have to be .08. He goes, .04. We're like, Carpenter, you got to stop doing this for real. Like, don't ruin your life and ruin your career. Like, stop driving drunk. Now, I don't know if he did stop after that or what. I can't even remember. I hope he did for his sake. But, yeah, that was one craziest night. Crazy night. One of the craziest nights I had in the Army. But, yeah, so that was my little story. But this guy, Irizarry, I knew in the Army. And night that we finally got sick of his shit and tried to beat the living shit out of him, but it didn't do anything because he was just tough as nails. Me going out to the club, so drunk I could barely stand, trying to hit on girls, and Our boy Carpenter coming inches away from a DUI. What a night. What a fucking night.